Hey, what's up, everybody? Pin here, and today I'm going to be doing this unboxing and review of the MeLE Quieter3Q. So this is the box that it came in. I sort of like did a little bit of the unpackaging myself just to make it a little bit easier. Um, this is basically the mini PC, the product inside. And I like the design aspect of it on this. Sort of like has like this sort of sci-fi sort of raised building architecture in the background, sort of as like embedded into the design up top. Pretty cool. So of course this is Intel. This is Windows 11 compatible. Has HDMI, dual display, so it's two HDMI ports. 4K Ultra HD, it has a gigabit LAN, and it is a fanless design. So most people would not recommend a fanless design computer, but everything has their pros and cons. This may be for you, or it may not. You'll just have to see by this review and also by additional research on your own. Okay, so generally, the OS is Windows 11. It is using an Intel Celeron processor, N5-105. It is using the Intel UHD graphics, 8 gigs of LDDDR4 memory, that is single channel, 128 gigs of storage, eMMC. Network connection, it does support Wi-Fi 6. So if you invested in a Wi-Fi 6, router, if you invested in your network and you are more up to date with things, then this computer supports Wi-Fi 6. USB, it has 4 USB 3.0 ports, 2 HDMI 2.0 ports that goes up to 4K at 60 Hertz. The audio output, it uses a 3.5 millimeter audio combo jack. And it does offer the ability to expand storage. So that's either via micro SD card or with an M.2 22x80 slot NVMe SSD. Now the company did not send me any storage expansion. I just have the actual product. But this product does give you the ability to do it. So keep that in mind. Let's get started here. I'm just gonna open this like this. So here is a quick start guide. Pretty nice. Keep that to the side there. And this is the mini PC. So I'm just gonna lift it up like this. And wow, this is small, and I have it up in the camera here as you can see the size. Like, look at my hand. This thing is small. Like, this would be perfect, for virtually any setup, especially as space is a concern. Just for a size comparison, I'm going to take my cell phone, and my phone is bigger than a mini PC. Well, not in thickness, but in length, if you get what I'm saying. Just as a size comparison. Matter of fact, I'll do this. See? So, this is nice. Very nice. Has a warning sign. Of course, got your Windows 11 and Intel, products and things like that. Advertisements. So there's like 3 USB 3.0 slots on the side here, and then in the back there's one. The audio connection, the 2 HDMI ports here, the power connector here, the gigabit Ethernet can go in here, which is cool. And then on the side here, it powered on right here. And then if you wish, okay, so I'm guessing if you wish to have this be mounted to some kind, or have it be sort it out in some capacity, you have the option here. Yep, and it is the VESA mount. So it's just an optional thing here. It's in a quick start guide. I knew that it was some type of mount going on with it. All right, let's take the rest of this out here. Just extra stuff. All right, box is completely empty. So what we have here are these optional plugs. And let me pick one of these up. So in the packaging, it has optional plugs. So for GS, UK, US, and SSA. So you can see that there. So what I like about MeLE and with the Quieter3Q, it gives unique options that I haven't seen practically come with a mini PC, to be quite honest. So I am very surprised that they got like this availability with this budget price, because when you're looking for something along this nature, your budget is a lot more stricter, it's tighter. You know, you don't have a large budget if you're planning on buying this, or if you just want something like secondary, which is fine. Screws, of course, I'm guessing go along with the optional mount. Nothing wrong with having an option, and it comes with screws, so can't go wrong with that, right? Now, some of this stuff I'm just not going to be using. I'm not going to be using the mount, anything like that. But it is nice to have though, right? Can't complain in that department. So this is the power cable, the switching adapter. So essentially you will plug this to an outlet and you will connect this in to the computer and you will be good to go. And also these things will connect. Okay, so the quick start guide is useful. Just needed to like reorganize myself for the momentarily. So you see this, so it's going to be based off of like your standards and where you live. So how you connect this to this switching adapter here is that you sort of have to like slide it on and you have to pull downwards. So I'm going to demonstrate that here. So you see how it clicks and you just move it down like that and it locks it in place. So now you can plug this into an outlet, and something like this design here is something that a lot of people are more familiar with. So you will plug this into, you know, your wall outlet or your power strip, and then you will plug the other end into your mini PC. And this, you know, this is the cable, you know, wrapped up, you know, no special things going on here. And yeah, so that's it. So we're going to move on to the review, some things. We're going to get into it. We're going to test out Windows 11, and I'm going to see what's going on with the device. So thank you for watching this part. Tune in to the next part. Peace out. Logged into the mini PC. I had to do a ton of Windows 11 updates, as you guys may expect. That took a couple of hours, and I wasn't going to record that gruesome process. Even hardwired with gigabit internet, it still took a little bit because it's typical Windows. Now, Windows 11 on this PC, for the most part, I can say it feels pretty smooth. Now, I am going to go to my task manager here. So to search it, you can just select here and task manager already pops up. but for you it may not. In case you plan on buying this computer, you just have to type in task, and then it's going to pop up automatically on its own. It's going to find the best match. So let's go into it. I do have Steam open because I am going to be like testing some gaming Multiverse on Steam on this computer. So let's get into it. So here's the good and the bad. The good news is that the memory does have a higher speed, but it is single channel, it is not dual channel. Now, how do I know that it's not dual channel memory? You see it under the memory. Once you bring up the task manager and under performance, you see slots used is 1 out of 2. I think where the company dropped the ball at was on the memory. I believe like dual channel memory and definitely more memory out the box, like at least for the price point. I know it's sort of like justifiable, but at least 12 gigs of RAM for a device like this and dual channel, like something, or 16. Let's just say 16 because it just makes more sense if you like have actually built computers before and things of that nature. That would be one major con. And I'm looking at this from a perspective of, if I were to go out and I'm trying to look for like a small client, what will I want and what will I look for? Now, in terms of getting you from point A to point B, it's going to check all the whistles in terms of, okay, can you go here? Can you download this? Can you bring this up? The computer runs 8 gig of memory with the programs I have open in the background. You know, it's 4.4 gigs available with Windows 11. The 64-bit operating system, maybe expect Windows to use up maybe like 2.5 plus more or 3, depending on what's going on in the background. You know, your operating system is always going to use up your system RAM. You know, that's just a part of the game. So that's the performance and under the task manager. Now, this does have Wi-Fi 6. I do know that, but I recommend if you are buying a mini PC or a thin client like this, and the thin client at the end of the day is just to be able to meet like the bare minimum specifications so that you can actually run your targeted applications and then you can actually like get yourself going. So I'm going to do a speed test here. This is from the Windows Store directly off of the client, and I'm going to change my my location generally there, and we're going to run a speed test for this. So this does support a gigabit connection. So this device will ensure that if you have gigabit, or if you have more than 100, you're definitely going to be taken care of in that aspect. And I'm not going to be doing any of the Wi-Fi 6 testing because I believe with clients like these, they should be hardwired. Now you can totally get away with Wi-Fi 6. It's just that depending on what you're doing, you might want to just go ahead and hardwire this device. So my numbers are 10 ping, not too bad. Typically what I expect from broadband. 946 down, roughly 42 up. Okay, so everything's looking normal here as far as the speed and the ping. Okay. Now we can get into some playback, and as you can see, as I'm navigating with the mouse here, there's no lag, or there's no visible lag, at least on my end, and everything is cool. So before we get into YouTube, I actually do want to show the start. when you initially get into the device, Windows 11, if you haven't used Windows 11 before, it is going to look a little different from your Windows 10 and Windows 8. So you want to press this start here. It's very easy. You just click on like the 4 glass windows, things like that, and you have like your pinned items. Now, some of this stuff have came with the computer in terms of applications. You are free to uninstall anything that you feel do not serve you or you do not need. What's easy for me is to pretty much go to the settings. Now, with this client, you have the ability to go into your system settings and you can personalize some things. So for first-time buyers, as of right now, the only thing that you need to worry about when first setting up this device, initially loading it, is going to the Windows update and just making sure that your device is completely up to date. And then you can personalize some things. Of course, you can quickly switch some things around. I changed my background here just from a click of a button, and I have this new background, which is pretty cool. And if I go back, changes it instantly like that. So, and you can add your own custom backgrounds. If you've used Windows before, this is not a surprise to you. New Windows buyers, you're going to find Windows 11 to look quite lovely, to be, I guess, better presentable in Microsoft eyes, and navigation is pretty smooth on this client as well. So definitely a big ups to MeLE on that when it comes to the device responsiveness. So let's go into YouTube. I already have it on my Brave. This is the Brave internet browser. I just prefer it over Microsoft or Internet Explorer. The Edge browser came pre-installed with this client, but I just prefer Brave. So we're going to do like a Sony 4K demo. It's already preset to 4K. If it's not, click on this gear icon. Make sure 4K is selected. And if I hover over the video here, I want to right click and I want to go to stats for nerds. Reason being is because I want to see, okay, of course, the color BT709, the codec VP09 for YouTube, updated codec for better quality. And I want to see if there's any viewport or frames. So the more viewport or frames dropping, meaning that the device cannot keep up or handle with the 4K video playback. Because this has minimum frame drops, which is why I'm showing this device is playing 4K playback pretty smoothly, as you can see. I'm not seeing no hiccups here. And I'm sure if you're watching on the other end of the spectrum, you're not seeing that many hiccups as well. Now, we did have a few frame drops, but this is telling me that the client is actually doing this job. So I can bring up the task manager again, and we can see what it's actually doing. Let's do performance. Okay, so let's minimize this just like that. Actually, let's bring this out a little bit more. So while I'm streaming this 4K video, of course, the CPU is fluctuating, right? Its speed is gigahertz. It's going up and down depending on how the demand is. So I'm streaming a 4K YouTube video in a browser, and the CPU usage is between 22, give or take. It can go up and down to 50. Let's say that, right? Just based off the numbers that I'm seeing, and it's random. The memory. there's now 3.4 gigabytes of RAM available. What I can decide from here is that if you're streaming 4K content, you're not going to have a problem with this at all. Based off of the YouTube demo, now I do think this is a good client for a media server, even within the Kodi realm, Plex, Jellyfin, Emby, just even as a Samba server where you're streaming content from this device to another. I think this client is way more than capable of handling those type of tasks, 4K uncompressed, and all, like as a server type thing. I think it does its duties. It fits the specs, it looks the part, and it is indeed acting the part as well. Now, this unit does run pretty hot. I can hover my hand over this unit and actually physically touch it, and I feel some heat. So if you're concerned about heat and things like that, or about it overheating, which the unit will turn itself off before it ever gets to that type of scenario. But if you are worried about that, you can simply turn the unit off when it's not in use, so it can properly cool down, and then when you want to use the unit again, you can turn it back on. That is perfectly fine here, okay? It's been a little of a long day, so if I'm stretching some things out, you guys know that's just a part of my review process. Now, I do have the Steam client here as well, okay? Now, Steam is a nice client because not only is this the most popular launcher on PC, if you install the Steam client, you have access to a lot of free-to-play titles, okay? So the free-to-play title that I want to test in terms of this review is Multiverse. Reason being is because it's a game that I recently got into, and I think it would be a nice balance between graphical fidelity and performance to see how this unit really performs sort of under pressure. So I have my PlayStation 5 controller hooked directly up to this unit with the included charging cable, and I have it directly plugged into the PC through the USB ports. Simple procedure, just plug and play. Steam recognized it through Big Picture, and now I am going to start up a game. So let's see how this unit really performs. After some testing with Multiverse, I will be giving like my verdict in terms of pros and cons and what I believe who this unit is more targeted towards and what you can typically expect from a unit such as this. So it's performing its first time setups, things like that. Okay, it's getting into the game now. So startup time isn't that bad. Steam is running through its process and things like that, which is totally fine. Waiting for the game, anti-cheat. Okay, see that. So while this is loading up, just be careful about running like programs like Photoshop. Even though Photoshop can be optimized, Photoshop is very RAM hungry, and RAM is not something that is largely available on this machine. So keep that in mind. This is not a replacement for like a beefier desktop system. This is more of a secondary, or can be a main unit if you haven't experienced the more high-end or mid-end desktop experiences. And also, if you just want a small device that you can plug in, put on top of your desk, and not have it take up as much space. And also, if you want to turn this into a potential media server to stream across your network. So while this is loading up, I'm just giving y'all a little bit of game, some tips, so you can see what's going on. Yes, for Multiverse, I do need an account. That's for sure. Hopefully I can just log in here, because I think you need that in order just before you even start any of the game modes. So I will have to pause the video here. Yep. So I will be right back. Okay, so I am now in. So let's see here. So I'm going to go into my graphics. I'm going to see what I can do. Windows full screen, monitor. Yeah, because of my OBS setup, the visuals are going to be basically preset for me, which is fine. It did like an auto detection. All right, well, of course, this isn't the best looking, but this is testing gaming. I do have the Steam frame rate counter, and the upper right hand corner is giving me 40 to 50 frames in the menu. So what I can do, let's do a lab session where it's just me and the CPU, and let's see what we can do here. Let's see how smooth this is. So I am getting some choppiness, 24 frames, 25, things like that. I can probably lower the settings some more. So what I'll do, I go to my graphics, vertical sync, don't want VSync. No. I'm gonna put that to low. Okay, so all the visual settings are at to low. I did disable vertical sync so that there won't be any more additional input latency or any type of lagging in the game. So that's fine on its own. Resolution scale, it says best quality. I'll leave it at that. I'll see. So it didn't really improve it all that much. Of course, I can play around with the resolution scaling if I was truly targeting a 60 FPS experience, but I chose Multiverse because you can sort of see the balance between the graphics, and the performance wise, and I am getting a little bit of some screen tearing. It's going to run these games. The question is it acceptable visual fidelity, and is it the targeted frame rate that you truly want? It is going to run these games, but once again, I'm used to a higher tier of gaming, and this isn't very playable to me, in my personal opinion. And I've chose this game to testing for a specific reason, because it's not that far in graphical fidelity to where it's extremely intensive on a unit. However, it does have that mixture, and it's a fairly new title that a lot of players are experiencing and playing across multiple devices. So my verdict here is that if you're looking to do like emulation, not really into high tier or mid tier gaming, if you're looking to play some older titles that are less intensive on this CPU and the GPU, this device is perfectly fine. if you're going into this thinking that you're going to be maxing out every game setting, it's a mini beast, you know, it's going to do each and everything that I want at the highest capacity, then you are very wrong. So overall, I give this a score. I give this client a 7 out of 10. Reason being is because it comes packed with the latest Windows operating system, Windows 11, 64-bit. It gives you a sleek look. It does come with some pre-installed applications that you can utilize, whether it's business or personal, that you can take advantage of. But you do have the ability to uninstall that. They do equip you with the necessities. Having the ability of 4 USB ports, gigabit Ethernet, the ability to expand this system, it does have its benefits, and the size is a major one. Now, where I think where the product has to improve on is making it from single channel memory to dual channel, and I believe they would be better off if they make a separate version that actually include a better cooling solution, because some people may be afraid or may be put off by the heat and what it's generating or outputting. So all in all, this PC is for if you're looking for a secondary client, maybe perhaps you want to start a media server, you want to do some light streaming, you want to do and have the ability to game, not just at a high-end level, but you still want the option to do that. And you want to be able to hook up multiple things to the client and not have to worry too much about space, because the client itself is small. So this about wraps up my review. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace out.